Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my art studio. My name's Jillian, I'm an artist, and I'm a cowboy. I'm dressed in my pastel western wear today because we're doing a kind of a pastel-y inspired piece. This is, I don't even know what episode, it might be episode number 10 of Let's Fucking Paint. So let's fucking paint today and do mixed media and do collage and do anything we want to do. This channel is basically dedicated to documenting the making of all new images for a tarot deck of my creation. So we have been doing the major arcana. I wanted to do a piece this time that was simple enough that I could probably get done in about 3 days, not 4, because I had a trip coming up. I jumped ahead in the major arcana a bit, and we're doing the Temperance Angel this time, and I'm really excited to show you guys my newest creation. So let's get into the video.
The approach.
Morning everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be working on a 24 by 36 canvas. We're doing the Temperance card, which is another angel. Yes, I love the angels. I did a little bit of the pre-process yesterday afternoon so that we could just get right into painting today. But yeah, this card, I'm basically doing the same kind of basic composition that the traditional card has, but I'm using a little bit of different colors. A couple weeks ago I was hiking and the sky was just this beautiful kind of white wispy color, and there were like these rainbow clouds that were appearing in the sky, and that was kind of like, I want to do that. I want to do that for a card. And so this kind of pastel sky is going to be happening. Sort of these pinky, orangey, yellow, white tones. So very, very light in the background. And then the dress and the wings, sort of pinky, orange, reddish. Key to the card is that she's got one toe sort of dipping into a pool. And so the sky and then the pool, or this little river, will sort of be this like similar color situation going on. And then we're going to be doing some blue, green, purple foliage in this garden, and some purple mountains majesty, I suppose you could say. I kind of wanted it to make it look like a little bit of a backlit situation. I'm not sure how that's gonna go, but yesterday I got this figure of a photo of myself printed out just so that I could paste it, or tape it up to the canvas and trace out the shape of this body of where I wanted it. I also have this AI generated girl's face, and then these are my hands and my feet. Yeah, I guess that's about it. So let's just get right into it, shall we? Yeah.
Day one.
So these are the colors that I'm going to be using for the sky and the water. Light pink, light yellow, and an almost white color. And it's really rare that I actually use this kind of pastel sky. The sky is usually some kind of crazy color. So this was really fun to try out, and I love this effect. I think I'm going to do it again. The combination of these colors really does kind of make the piece have like a backlit type of a feeling. And I'm adding that same color combination to the water. I forgot to film the correct angle for the painting of this bottom part of this river, but it does kind of like curve around and come down to the feet. And you can see here that I added in that ripple effect. Dang, I wish I would have filmed that correctly, but it was turning out really pretty. Now it's time to do the foliage on the riverbank. And with this part, I really wanted it to be really dark and make that look like it's more backlit, as I said before. So I'm using some dark blues and purples, and then I'm going to be accenting it with these lighter greens and light bright purples. And I did want that really big contrast to be happening, so I started doing some little brown, dark brown, almost black like stones along the banks of this river, and then going in with just a lightish green wash and adding darker tones throughout. Haven't really done anything exactly like this before, but I'm just sort of treating it like how I was treating some other landscapes that I've been doing recently, starting with darker and then going in with the lighter tones, making brushy green, grasses. I thought I wanted there to be like a tree, but I liked the grasses from the original card, so I decided to keep with that type of motif. This part is where it really starts to shine and become dynamic, because I'm adding in these lighter purples and super light greens, light blues, and like a super almost neon-ish bright purpley blue to make it sort of look like it's just shining with the light coming through. Now for the mountains. This was a super fun part to do because I've been doing basically like orange mountains in the past couple paintings, but this, I wanted it to be dark. I wanted it to be purpley, pinky, raspberry colored, and I wanted there to be a lot of contrast again. So this red tone was really fun to add, and I love the sort of fiery feeling that it adds. But it's also really a calming color. Or it is to me anyway. I think that this reddish pinkish, it just feels romantic in some way, and I really liked that vibe. So here I'm adding in a little bit more mountain on the other side of the dress, and then I'm going to be doing that little riverbank on the opposite side. Basically the same techniques that I was using on the first side, just swipey, make some little brush strokes, make it look like something. Then I'm filling in the rocks a bit more and adding a little bit of that dark burgundy red as like a further super subtle definition to the rocks, and filling in a little bit more of that color on the banks. Now it's wing time, and in the last piece the wings were like a large part of the composition, but I was able to do them really quickly because they were sort of impressionistic. But in this one I knew that I wanted them to have a little bit more like stark definition to them, so I started with an underpainting of red, and I'm kind of going in with more of that and then adding orange over top of that. But the orange was not really opaque enough to cover it, so I don't know, it was looking cool, but it needed some more work on the next day. Okay, end of the first day. I'm loving how this color combination is working out. This pastel water is really beautiful with the sky. I'm loving the start of these wings, these crazy orange wings. Super excited about it. I'm gonna knock off a little bit early today because I'm gonna go have a luxurious shower in my trailer. My shower that's the size of a phone booth. Delightful. So we'll see you guys tomorrow for day number 2. Bye. If you like this kind of content, make sure you subscribe.
Day 2.
All right, day 2. My husband looked at this last night and said, this is some color genius shit, so that's going great. He thought that this looked really cool just as it is, and I kind of thought, well, what if I just sort of intentionally left it blank, but came in with a little bit of definition with the sort of flow of like how the skirt is laying and stuff like that. It is in general really, really neat. So I also still want to add some rainbowy stuff to these ripples. I think I'm going to leave that how it is too. Continue working on the wings, do a halo up above. And then this one, I have an extra printout of her, so I'm going to recut her out the way that I'd done the hair, because right now, if you can see, I sort of taped that extra hair back on. So we're just going to continue to work on this thing today. Let's see what happens. So I've marked out really lightly in pencil some stuff to cut out because I want there to be liquid kind of flowing in between the cups, and I don't want there to be like this little subtle line when I paint that stuff in. I'm just going to cut that out where it's going to be kind of flowing in on these ones, and then I'm going to glue these down and then do the dress. Yep, after I glued them down, it was fabric fold o'clock. I basically am just going in with a light orange color, which is the same color I've been using on the background and then throughout the wings, and looking at this cutout that I had made previously and sort of eyeballing what the fabric folds would look like if it were just to be like a line with a slight bit of blending. Doing the same thing for this bottom skirt part was a little more challenging, but I did make those pencil lines already as to where the folds would sort of go. So I'm just kind of following that, going in and blending with some wet, watery paint, kind of watercolor style, just for those folds. Now I'm taking and painting in this watery swoop area with like the almost white color that I was using on the sky. I'm doing this because I want to then paint over this light white color with these pastel rainbow colors. It's going to be like a rainbowy, watery swoop coming through. So that'll be sort of the backdrop for that. Now I'm adding in very subtle little rainbowy colors into this ripple around her feet. And I quickly was noticing that like a little goes a long way with this, and I really did want this piece to have a bit more subtlety to it, so I did kind of one stripe here, one stripe there, not too much, but that very minimal part really was a good touch. Now that the top little rainbow swoop background is dry, I'm just adding in the rainbow colors to that part, and that was looking really exciting. Then I'm taking and painting the cups, painting over what was already there with kind of a three-tone gold, starting with kind of a copper brown color, then a darker gold and a lighter gold with a flower motif. Then I'm doing some more work on the wings. I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do here, but I'm painting in, just testing. I decided to start painting over with pink on this one side and then adding the orange so that the orange looked more opaque, and I was liking how that was looking. Then adding in some darker red outlines, just kind of playing with what looked best. So I had begun to paint in pink over top of the red and the orange. I haven't done that on that side, just to sort of try and get the orange to come over it more opaque, but I don't necessarily know that I like how it looks. We're gonna keep working on it. It's all right, it's hard to do these things. In this part, I have taken my second cutout of this girl's face, head, hair, and I'm painting over the hair using a black mixed with that kind of dark copper brown color. And I'm really glad that I had done two different printouts of this so that I could kind of practice what it was going to look like on the first sort of girl's face. I decided to do it this way rather than after I've pasted her onto the canvas because I wanted, I don't know, I kind of thought that I would end up doing it kind of messy and messing it up. Anyways, so it looked really good, and I'm adding little details and wisps, and she's ready to glue on. Now I'm going with the white, almost white color and adding some little splashy drips that are coming down out of the cups, which I'll then go over and paint with those same pastel colors that were in the rainbow. This was a really cool detail and made it look super fun and exciting. And then just touching up the background in some places. That's pretty much it for day number 2. Well, basically the end of day number 2. I'm gonna stop early because I have to walk my dog early and then we have a phone call with a friend. But I'm liking how this is looking. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna add some color to these drip, and yeah, I'm definitely thinking I like these very subtle colors and the rainbow ripples going on down here. Everything's pretty much working out. I'll probably be able to finish it in one more day. She definitely needs a halo, and maybe there should just be a giant rainbow arch going across. I don't know. The cups are very, very cool. I like this kind of triple tone gold thing that's going on. The dress looks really neat. I like that I'm leaving a lot of the kind of underpainting showing through. Still gonna work out what to do with the wings. I think I do need to have like a really bright light orange as like a highlight through here. Pretty happy with it. See you tomorrow. If you're enjoying this content, please make sure to give it a like and hit subscribe so you can always follow me along my journey into the abyss.
Day 3.
Okay, it's day 3. It's a dark and rainy and cold ass day. And it's really dark in here, so I've got this light on over here. And man, there is something about rain when it's cold that just feels so awful. Like, I'm not a fan. I would much rather it be snowing. It's like the rain just like gets into you, and if it's snowing, it doesn't get into you. So I hope it starts snowing. I'm wearing my bear hat. Let's see what we can do to wrap this one up today, perhaps, possibly. So I started gluing down her head and hair, and usually this goes 100% super smoothly, but for some reason, today, on this day, whether it was because it was really dark or I just wasn't feeling my best, there was a bunch of ripples in the paper where the glue was kind of coming through and drying too quickly and blah. Don't work on art when you don't feel right, but it is glued down and that's good. It got a lot lighter at least, but I don't know, I just took a break to eat something, make some more coffee. My back hurts really bad. I'm sore everywhere. I'm just like not feeling it today, so I'm gonna do something else today, and then day 3 is probably gonna happen tomorrow. But all I did is I glued the head on, so it's fine. Day 3 is still gonna be happening tomorrow. I think it's important that I'm kind of leaning into this, like not trying to force it, not trying to put pressure on myself to like, you know, finish something all in one go. That's totally fine. It should be about flow and the enjoyment of the feeling, and if I'm pushing myself through it, it's not going to turn out well, so something else it is today. All right, we're redoing day 3. I'm in here in the studio. I feel a lot better. It is sunny out. It was a nice day. This piece is so close to being done, it just needs a little bit of pizzazz, so let's fucking add it, people. Yeah, I'm a really firm believer that, you know, you should make art as art therapy if you don't feel good, but if your body just won't do things, you know, you don't have to push yourself through things for just the sake of finishing things. It's not even worth it. What is worth it, though, is waiting a day and then feeling awesome and then cranking out some awesome finishing touches on this thing. Right here, I am doing the wings, so I had gone over with pink, then orange again, then pink again, and then it's starting to look really, really cool. I'm adding these kind of pink tips on the feathers to make it really dimensional, and then a little bit of bright, light, yellowy orange for a super, super highlight on these wings, and I thought that looked absolutely fantastic. Next, we're going to be filling in the little rainbowy splotchy splashes coming out of this cup, just with a variety of these different super light pastel rainbow colors, the blues, the greens, the pale yellows. I love this color palette, and I'm so happy that I chose to buy some pastel paints for this piece. This is a nice alliteration, is that what that is? And yeah, this is just pulling the whole thing together in a beautiful way. Now I'm taking this copper metallic color and going over what was like a little lace collar that she had and creating a jewelry piece out of it. Dark copper and then going in with a darkish gold color. And then I'm going to be filling in other parts of that with a light gold with this kind of flowery motif almost. Then I'm going to paint this rainbow using those same pastel colors. Sorry that my body is mostly covering it. I was trying to do a lot of detail work with this. It's kind of tricky to get it, you know, all lined up in a perfect line, but the end result was absolutely fantastic. I loved it. Most of the pieces that I made when I lived in like San Francisco had a ton of rainbows. There was a rainbow in almost every single one, and I haven't incorporated that in a couple of years, so I was really excited to try something more pastel and less just like oomph, bright, like saturated color. I love it. Totally shiny and beautiful. Then I tried out some crown head jewelry and I didn't like it, so it's always okay to scrub stuff off and try again, fix the hair mistakes that you made. And then I'm coming in with a compass and tracing in a halo that I'm going to just outline in a little bit of gold. And then for the finishing details, I'm going to be adding just a few gold stars and dots throughout the sky, bringing it all together in a celestial, kind of grounded yet shining godlike realm. And I didn't film it, but afterwards I also went in with some little wispies for the hair, which I think turned out absolutely beautiful. Let's see what I think about it. The beer critique.
The beer critique.
All right, y'all. You know what time it is, don't you? We're gonna critique this thing with some beer in our hands. I can't fucking talk today. I'm wearing my pastels because it's a pastel type of piece and I felt like that was pretty fitting. So what do we think of this gal? I think she's pretty nice. The main thing that makes this... Oh, hold on. I haven't even took a drink yet. There's a few main things that make this much different from anything that I've made before, and some things that really link it to the stuff I've made before. Like this color palette with this really light colored pastel background is something that I just haven't done before, and I know I've said it a bunch of times in this video, but the way that I've included this pastel background with these darker elements like the hair, the super colorful kind of oomphy shades of the orange and the red, and the mountains, the dark rocks, the sort of darker kind of landscape. It really feels dark and mysterious yet light and ethereal at the same time, which I think is perfect for that Temperance card, right? It's about that balance factor. There's so much balance in the tarot. Sometimes it feels to me like this piece doesn't really have a lot of oomph, but I do really think that it has a lot of oomph. Like, there are really saturated colors in this. Orange, like fuchsia. It does really have that element to it, and I like that it has that oomph. They've really, like, these dark parts and the light parts and all of the colors really vibrate super well together. And yeah, just in general, this piece kind of has a really cool, surreal sunset, sunrise vibe. I really like that. Another thing I love about it, of course, is the rainbows. And I'm so glad that I brought rainbows into this one. it gives it sort of a trippy element to it. The traditional Temperance card isn't really trippy, it's just sort of calm, it's just sort of there, it's just sort of like this kind of, soft strength thing, which is great, but we needed some trippiness in it. I don't know, I tend to associate rainbows with angels anyway, but in this one, particularly, these colors of the rainbow and this kind of rainbow arching thing, it sort of reminds me of like the balance of the auric field, which the Temperance card is really all about. Mixing this auric field around the angel, or around oneself, I guess you could say, with these twin cups, the cups that pour into each other, that perfect harmony. That's pretty sweet, I like that. And then of course the fact that the water down below is echoing some of these same types of colors as these rainbows up here and in the sky and in the cups. Love it. Love the rainbows. Yeah, really ends up being a very balanced and ethereal card in that way. Or an ethereal piece that'll be a tarot card. I'm really happy with the dress. Intentionally left blank. This dress intentionally left blank. My husband was right that there is this really interesting quality of how it looks like it's part of the background because it actually is part of the underpainting. And this kind of washy, very minimal line work that I did to show the draping fabric of the dress was just perfect. I'm so glad that I decided to use like this real, like true size cutout of me wearing this dress so that I could trace that on, that shape perfectly on there, and that I would have a reference point, like to size, to scale, of how the fabric draped and how to like kind of handle that. That's not really something I've done before, but definitely I'm gonna have to do more of that moving forward because it was really successful. Yeah, love the water, love this ripple that's happening. The only thing I'm not really sure about is it too stark and is it too empty? Is it too kind of lonely? Is there enough kind of going on? I think this card, like the image for this card, kind of demands that though, in that it is about kind of a peaceful balance. That's what Temperance is. I think the imagery works really well. It is kind of stark, but the focus is very much on the figure, her strong yet ethereal position in this beautiful place. So I think it is successful. I may want to add some other, pizzazz to it later. I was considering initially putting something else in this little kind of riverbank area, but I don't know. When you think you're done with a piece, you may not be. The other thing is that you can always add more to a piece, but once a lot of that paint texture is in there, it's really hard to subtract. So I think I'm just gonna sit with this piece for some amount of time and we'll see if I want to add anything else. The other thing I was initially going for in my mind was this kind of backlit feeling. And does it look backlit? I don't know, not particularly. But it does look good. One thing I probably could have done and could still do is come in with a lighter color for these wispy things around the hair to make it look like, the sun is sort of shining from behind. I could probably also do something around these wings that offers a similar kind of a look to it. Very much like how I made these grasses sort of come from a dark blue into a dark green, into a light green, into like this little light purple kind of bluey color to make it sort of look like it's shining from behind. That's pretty successful. And, the sense of light with this mountain is pretty successful. And the sense of light with the water is very successful. And in the sky, but it's only just sort of like on the hair and the wings that it might kind of be missing something. So, I don't know. I could change it later. This is the thing. You can always change it later. And then, of course, what did I learn from this one? I really learned that energy levels are subject to change, and that's fine. More like I remembered that about myself, actually. I've always sort of been like that. I'll be go, 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 and then I'll just sort of be like, ugh. I'm really glad that I took that day in the middle, do something else, think about something else, relax a little bit. The rest time is as important as the amazing studio time. I'm glad I remembered that. I'm glad I let that happen. The other thing I learned about this one is it's really fun to try something new, which is totally the pastel color combination. The pastel colored rainbows. Yeah, I usually do these hyper saturated, like almost cartoonish color looking rainbows, and there was a place for that. Psychedelic San Francisco, right? Where everything is just like, wow. I'm loving the pastels. I'm glad that I tried it, and I'm definitely gonna do this again. So I guess that's it, guys. We did it. We made another artwork for this tarot deck that I'm creating. I liked this one. Definitely an interesting vibe. Elements of that kind of strength and that softness, that ethereal cosmicness with that groundedness. Very, very cool. Thank y'all for joining me on this journey that I'm on to make all new art for a tarot deck this year. I really appreciate you all watching, and thank you for waiting for an additional week for this video. This piece was actually done about a week ago, but I went out of town and saw some family members and just didn't have enough time to edit the video and pack at the same time. So here she is. I like her a week later. I hope you guys like her. First time seeing her right now. So also, I have a website. enlightenmentbarbie.com, and on my website I have my full portfolio of everything that I've ever made as Enlightenment Barbie, which is a long, amazing history. You should check it out. You should get inspired on there. It's really a fun space. And I also have a shop where I have journals, prints of digital artwork, and other things that I've done throughout the years. I have books. I have lots of different things. Soon I'm going to be having kimonos, wearable artwork available. I also make those. That's going to be really exciting. I'm releasing just a couple of new designs this year because I'm working on some extra super special things to be released later in the year. So yeah, check me out on there and support me there if you want to. I'm also on the Instagram at Enlightenment Barbie, so we have some fun over there as well. Guess that's it, folks. Go in peace, spread joy, keep being awesome, and remember, life is but a lucid dream, y'all. Mwah!
If you like this kind of content, make sure you subscribe. See you later.